Today we have to listen Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. It is most essential to have a full understanding of this sutta because Anatta is a companion of the teachings of the Buddha. All teachings outside of the Buddha's dispensation fall under the category of beliefs in a self or atta. They hold the view that there is such a thing as a soul, a living entity. They believe that this soul or living entity actually resides in all living creatures. Living entity resides in man, living entity resides in woman, living entity resides in devas or animals such as cattle, buffaloes, dogs, etc. In the midst of the world, holding fast to such views of soul or self, Buddha declared Atta, soul, or living entity is not a reality. It is only a conventional term. What really exists in ultimate sense is a continuous flux of psychophysical process and impersonal phenomena. The Dhammacakka Sutta, the first sermon, was delivered in the evening of the full moon day of July 103 of the Buddha era. At the time of the first discourse, only one of the group of 5 bhikkhus, the Venerable Kundinya, attained the first stage of the higher knowledge, the Sotapaddi Megaphala, and he became a Sotapanna, a stream winner. Having fully penetrated into all aspects of the Dhamma, with firmly established confidence and unshakable faith in the teachings of the Buddha, Venerable Kundinya asked for ordination and he gained admission into the order of the Buddha. The remaining 4 bhikkhus, the Venerable Wappa, the Venerable Bhaddiya, the Venerable Mahanama, and the Venerable Assaji, had not yet become accomplished in the higher knowledge of the noble path and fruition. So Buddha asked them to engage themselves in the strenuous practice of Dhamma under his personal guidance. These bhikkhus did not go out even for alms round. Buddha himself also stayed in the monastery constantly without going out for alms food in order to attend to them and assist them in removing the obstacle, mental hindrances and impurities that arise in the course of meditation practices. So instructed and guided by the Lord Buddha and striving arduously and incessantly, the Venerable Wappa attained the path and fruition and became a stream winner on the first waning day of July. The Venerable Bhaddiya attained the path and fruition on the 2nd, the Venerable Mahanama on the 3rd, and the Venerable Assaji on the 4th day, respectively, and each of them became a stream winner, Sotapanna. So we need to understand the 4 Venerable Bhikkhus were not accomplished yet to attain the higher knowledge by just listening to the discourse. They still had to strive for attainment, and therefore Buddha required them to engage themselves strenuously in the practice of meditation. So some people say to become a Sotapanna could be attained by just listening to the discourse. No effort is needed for the practice of the Vipassana meditation. They say that kind of view is wrong. The commentary says that after all the 5 bhikkhus had become stream winners and received ordination as members of the Buddha's order, the Anattalakkana Sutta was delivered on the 5th waning day of July. Thus, at one time in the introduction means the 5th waning day of July, while Buddha was staying in the Deer Park near the town of Benares. At the time when Buddha was staying in the Deer Park in the township of Benares, Buddha addressed the 5 bhikkhus, Bhikkhava, all bhikkhus, to have attention from the bhikkhus, and the group of 5 bhikkhus answered, Bhaddante, Reverend Sir, they answered. Then Buddha delivered the Dhamma of Anattalakkana Sutta. Buddha said, Rupam Bhikkhave Anatta. Bhikkhus, Rupa, the material body, is not self, it is not soul, it is not a living entity. People in general think themselves and others to be living entities with a soul or self or ego in each of them. Holding the view that there exists a soul or a living entity in man is known as misconception on self or wrong belief in self. That is atta detti, wrong belief. If we are Puthujjana, ordinary worldling, we cannot be free from this wrong belief in self. But some people believe in atta firmly, some not. But in a person who has become accomplished in the knowledge of mind and matter, this belief in self may be considerably reduced. But it cannot be said that that knowledgeable person is completely free of the view of self. He is still liable to think that it is a soul or self in him, that is the thinker of his thoughts, the doer of his actions, the speaker of his words, and the feeler of the pleasant or unpleasant sensation. You all are Vipassana practitioners. Are you all free from that wrong view of self? The Vipassana practitioners are taking note of every phenomena occurring at the 6 doors continuously and precisely. They are developing keen Vipassana insight knowledge, and they realized there is no self, there is no living entity, but mere physical and mental phenomena. They realized. If they realize in this way, they are free from that wrong view of self, but only for the duration of the Vipassana practice. As soon as yogi do not practice meditation, the misconception of self return. In order to remove this misconception of self and make it clear that there is no such thing as soul or living entity in the psychophysical process in one's own body or in the psychophysical process of others' bodies, Buddhas began the discourse that Rupam Bhikkhave Anatta. Bhikkhus, material form is not self, it is not soul, it is not living entity. So Pudujana, ordinary worldling, think that the whole material body, which is coexisting with the eye, ear, nose, etc., is regarded to be a living entity. In common language, the whole body, which is compounded of the material quality, is spoken of as self, soul, or living entity. The usage in the daily life of expression of self or living entity is not wrong, but conforming to the convention of the world. But from the point of view of ultimate absolute reality, or the material substance of the whole body is not self, or not individual, or not a being, but only the aggregates or matter or material qualities. So Buddha had pronounced definitely and clearly that although individuals view the aggregates of material qualities as a living entity, a living being, in reality it is not atta, it is not soul, it is not a living entity, but merely a physical phenomenon. And Buddha also provided an explanation why material thing is not atta. Buddha said, Bhikkhus, if rupa was self or atta, the inner core of one's own body, then rupa would not tend to affliction, rupa would not tend to misery. And one should be able to say of rupa, let rupa be good, let my body not be worst. It should be possible to influence rupa in this manner. If rupa were the inner core of our body or self, it should not cause suffering, but actually our body is causing suffering. The body does not remain youthful and vigorous. Our body make problem by growing old and by decaying. Our body make misery by dying. If there is no body, we would be free from affliction of getting grey in hairs. We will be free from misery of falling teeth. We will be free from bent back. We will be free from deafness, poor eyesight, wrinkled skin, and infirmity. So it is rupa, the body, which is inflicting the suffering, which is responsible for all suffering. Again, because we have this body, we have to encounter a lot of suffering. We are troubled with sore eye, earache, toothache, backache, flatulence, feeling hot, feeling cold, painful and itching, and with disease of blood, skin, stomach, urine, and with high blood pressure, etc. These sickness arise because of this body through which they make their manifestation. And also we suffer from hunger and thirst because of this body, and because of it we are subjected to attacks by mosquitoes, insects, or affliction by others, oppressors. And animals have to suffer because they have animal body. Hungry ghosts have to suffer because they have hungry ghost body. Hell beings have to suffer because they have hell body. Suffering in the states of miseries and woes are also due to rupa body. In short, we suffer from all these various troubles and affliction because of this body. So it is rupa that make trouble. Rupa's function is to bring about misery and trouble in one's body. We have to die one day because we have this body, and rupa is responsible for the phenomenon of death. When the material qualities in our body undergo deterioration and decay, our death occurs. So it may be said that rupa inflicts suffering by causing death. So we can reflect, if body was safe, it would not inflict us with the suffering of old age, sickness and death. One usually causes sufferings to others, but not on oneself. So if rupa was safe, or the same inner core of the body, it should not inflict suffering on itself by bringing old age, sickness and death. Furthermore, even before the coming of aging, sickness and death, our body is constantly subjecting us to various distress. A young person, although free from sickness and enjoying good health, cannot remain long in any of the body postures, such as sitting, standing, or walking. That young person has to change his postures quite often. All yogis have many experience regarding the body. We cannot remain for long as we wish in any one body postures. We find it difficult to remain seated for 2 hours, 3 hours without changing postures, or to lie down for 2 or 3 hours without changing postures. We have to change very often. Constant changing of postures have to be made because of the feeling of hotness or tiredness in the limbs after a certain time in one position. So all these troubles, all these misery arise because of this body. In other words, it is rupa, it is body that making problem, that is inflicting these miseries. Furthermore, Buddha said, if rupa was safe, if rupa were the inner core, it should be possible to say of rupa, let my rupa be in the best of condition, let my rupa not be in the worst of condition. Truly, we should be able to exercise our will on rupa if rupa were ourself or atta. All beings desire to have their material body always youthful and healthy in appearance, to keep it away from aging, sickness and deterioration resulting in death. But our body never obedient. The material body is never obliging. It refused to be subject to our will. Its fresh youthfulness fades into age, weakness. Its strong health declines against our will, resulting in illness and diseases, and finally, the body have to die. This rupa is not amenable to our control. This body is not manageable according to our wish. So Buddha pointed out that Rupam Bhikkhave Anatta. Rupa is not oneself. Rupa is not the inner core of one's body. We have to stop our discourse for today. We will continue this discourse on other days. May you practice Vipassana meditation according to the Satipatthana Sutta. By practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses continuously and meticulously, may you all practitioners realize the true nature of unmanageable nature of the body. May you realize the true nature of impermanence, suffering and non-self. May you all realize the real peace in the very near future. Sadhu, sadhu.